As of June 4th, the Pacifica Pier is closed indefinitely. The city engineering crews arrived around 7 a.m. that morning. They found visible cracking in the concrete and had the entire structure taped off within hours. The closure lands on the first week of summer salmon season. One of the most productive free fishing piers on the California coast is now shut down with no reopening date. The pier has been there since 1973, built as a cooperative project between the city of Pacifica, the Wildlife Conservation Board, and the California Department of Fish and Game. The structure stretches 1,140 feet into the Pacific in an L shape, just over a quarter mile of concrete extending from Sharp Park Beach, about 15 miles south of San Francisco. Its original function was industrial. The pier was designated to carry the city's sewer outfall line, a 28-inch pipe that pushed treated wastewater a quarter mile offshore. And that ended in 2004 when Pacifica built a new water treatment facility, and the pier shifted entirely to being for public use. It became one of the most productive free fishing spots in Northern California, known for its salmon runs. There have been days where hundreds of fish were landed. The pier also draws anglers for Dungeness crab in winter, striped bass, rockfish, jacksmel, and white croaker throughout the year. Free to use, no fishing license required, and for a lot of Bay Area families without a boat or money for a guided trip, this pier is how they access the water and catch fish. What crews found on the morning of June 4th was cracking, separation, and displacement of the concrete walkway and structural elements near the pier. Concrete chunks were already falling into the ocean. Inspections over the following 24 hours revealed a gap roughly a foot wide at the top of the walkway and a wider separation at the base where the structure has begun pulling apart. The Chit Chat Cafe at the entrance was also shut down immediately, with PG&E cutting gas and electricity to the building. The city issued a statement saying the pier would remain closed until engineers could confirm it was safe, with no timeline that was attached. A structural assessment from outside engineering from GHD had already flagged multiple sections as in poor or serious condition, and that report documented areas where concrete was missing and rebar was exposed and corroding. Engineers noted that continuous seawater exposure and marine spray were actively deteriorating the structure and recommended closure ahead of any storms or high swell events. A 2023 annual condition assessment put the cost of full structural repairs at $19 million. And Pacifica is a small city. That number represents a significant budget challenge with no obvious quick solution. The pier has been through this before. A December 2023 storm caused enough damage that the structure was closed through early 2024. It only partially reopened after that, and the current closure is the most severe the pier has seen, and engineers are still completing their assessment. Now, Pacifica is part of a much larger pattern along the California coast. At least 10 public piers were closed for part or all of 2024 from structural damage sustained in winter storms. At least 5 or more are sitting on known structural issues with long-term upgrade plans in progress. The Ocean Beach Pier in San Diego determined full replacement was the only path forward and has remained closed while that multi-million-dollar project moves through planning. The Capitola Wharf, built in 1857, required around $8 million in repairs after 2023 storm damage. The Ventura Pier cost over $3 million, and the Seacliff State Beach Pier partially collapsed. California's coastal piers were built for a different ocean. Concrete at Pacifica is 53 years old, and it has absorbed wave energy, salt water, and marine spray every day of those 53 years. USGS researchers studying California's coast have been direct about the trajectory. Exposed coastal infrastructure is going to face increasing stress from shifting storm patterns and rising sea levels. 2023 state law now requires coastal local governments to plan for sea level rise in the coming decades, and that planning is happening while the structures themselves are deteriorating in real time. The pier that generations of Bay Area anglers have fished for free, salmon season, crab season, and everything in between, is taped off right now at the start of summer with a structural repair bill that may exceed what the city can fund. And whether it gets repaired, replaced, or something else entirely is a question with no answer yet.